My husband, Shen Lang, was tragically struck dead by a falling rock. The physician declared that there remained a glimmer of hope and inquired whether I would dare to venture a bold rescue. With audacity, I relinquished that slender thread of life. I promptly notified the county office of his demise, and within the span of an hour, Shen Lang was reduced to ashes, not a remnant left behind. Heaven, in its envy of talent, has left me with a fortune beyond measure. Although no will was penned, I am more than capable of addressing those complications. Thus, my husband, Shen Lang, was indeed a truly benevolent soul. When my husband, Shen Lang, met his untimely demise under the crushing weight of a massive stone, leaving me with a vast fortune, he treated me with utmost kindness, and in return, I felt compelled to care for his family. Shen Lang's parents resided at Baiquan Mountain Villa, so I composed a letter to inform them that their needs for food and clothing should be of the highest quality. It was imperative that these elderly individuals lived without worry, both physically and mentally. After all, how would they react to the shocking news of their son's death? Additionally, I had to inform Shen Lang's concubine, the woman whom he and his mother cherished dearly. Upon my arrival at her residence, I found that she had just stepped out. I instructed my people to remove all belongings from the estate. The sheer volume of items was astonishing, and after a day's worth of sorting, I kept the valuables and discarded the rest. As a group of beggars gratefully accepted my discarded items, the constables arrived with blades drawn. Su Tang, someone has accused you of theft. I feigned innocence, Your Honor. I have been law-abiding and have not committed such acts. Whether you did or did not, we shall see when we take you in. I complied, maintaining a quiet demeanor as we made our way to the county office. Upon arrival, I locked eyes with Lin Shuang. With her swollen belly, she pointed at me, hurling insults. Su Tang, you shameless harlot. Return my family's possessions. I eyed her 8-month pregnant belly and cautioned, be careful. Should you exert yourself too much, the child may be harmed. And there will be no one to collect the corpse. I will tear your mouth apart. Lin Shuang threatened to strike me. I, however, was not foolish. I swiftly moved behind the constables. Your Honor, she intends to use her child to frame me. I kindly warned her, and now I am being attacked. Please ensure justice is served. The constables brandished their blades, intimidating Lin Shuang into submission. I exhaled in relief, thankful for their presence. Otherwise, I might have been wrongfully accused today. Yet, I recalled the law stipulates that one must have evidence to lodge a complaint. The constables wore serious expressions. Behave yourselves and confess to the theft. I was ushered into an inner chamber, where the magistrate regarded me with a stern demeanor. What were you doing at the newly acquired estate yesterday around the hour of the snake? Relocating. The magistrate paused, scrutinizing me with cold eyes. The items are not yours. How dare you take them without permission? And you brought so many craftsmen with you. But I was indeed the owner of that estate. I presented the deeds, my marriage contract with Shen Lang, and my household registration, complete with the appropriate seals. Is this sufficient? The magistrate was taken aback, setting down his pen and rising to examine my documents closely, ultimately realizing that I was the true owner. He summoned Lin Shuang and the estate steward to enter. The steward pointed at me, declaring, Miss Lin is the rightful owner of the estate. I can attest to that. Having served for so long, Lin Shuang, in tears, stubbornly insisted, she is a thief. She has stolen from my family. Too, I composed myself and scoffed, Lin Shuang. How amusing it is for a thief to accuse another of thievery. Initially, my husband saved you out of kindness, and you clung to him. And now you dare to claim ownership of the estate. Have you no shame? I turned to the steward with a commanding tone. Open your eyes and recognize who the true owner of the estate is. The steward, trembling, knelt in fear, saying nothing. Lin Shuang's face turned pale as she retorted, even if I am not the owner, those items belong to me. Your Honor, you must stand for me. Su Tang is a thief. You will not shed tears until you see the coffin, I countered, presenting the receipts one by one. Your Honor, these receipts are all from the estate, detailing the purchase of furniture and clothing. You may send someone to verify their authenticity. The magistrate ordered an immediate investigation. I gazed at Lin Shuang with a cold smile. Among the items I removed, can you produce a single receipt proving their ownership? The magistrate, with an expression of solemnity, queried Lin Shuang, what exactly did she steal from you? Write it down. Lin Shuang, in a flurry, seized the brush, and I chuckled lightly. Lin Shuang. We both know your true status. Are you certain you lost anything of value? Her hand trembled, her face blanched, and she couldn't write a single word. I remained calm, for I understood she could not disclose what she had lost. 6 months prior, Xin Lang had secretly plotted to divorce me, cautiously transferring his assets. Gold and silver had been converted into promissory notes and hidden in a small compartment within the estate's bookcase. I had discovered this compartment and, after taking the notes, hid them away in a secure location. Lin Shuang's hesitation to write raised the magistrate's suspicion. She dared not inscribe anything, for that fortune must remain concealed. Eventually, Lin Shuang put down her brush and deceitfully claimed that upon returning home, she found her belongings in disarray, and in her haste, she failed to notice what I had taken. The magistrate reprimanded Lin Shuang, and in her frustration, she could only grit her teeth and glare at me. I, too, received a scolding from the magistrate for failing to notify anyone prior to my relocation, causing a commotion. I quickly admitted my fault, promising it would not happen again. In the carriage, I looked down at Lin Shuang from my elevated position. I intend to sell the estate. You had best vacate within 2 days, or I will charge you a fee of 500 taels per month. 500 taels. Why don't you go rob a bank? Lin Shuang retorted angrily. I coldly scoffed. The newly acquired estate, nestled against the hot springs and blessed with a spring-like climate year-round, is worth every bit of that sum. Lin Shuang's face flushed with rage, and suddenly, she lifted her chin and laughed. Su Tang, when Xin Lang returns, I will have him divorce you. Then you will have cause to weep. I patted my chest, feigning fear. Oh, I am so terrified. Then I laughed. You must have sent someone to find him. Has he responded to you? Lin Shuang's expression faltered, fear flickering in her eyes. I covered my mouth and laughed for quite some time. Oh well, to spare your feelings, I shall tell you Xin Lang is dead. Lin Shuang went mad, screaming, Su Tang, you vile woman. You dare curse your own husband. I rubbed my temples, urging her to be quiet. You are quite loud. He is my husband, not yours. Why are you so agitated? If you don't believe me, you may inquire at the county office. He was crushed to death the night before last at the hour of the pig, as reported by the Jianghu Express. Surely you have seen it? Lin Shuang, in a panic, rushed inside, while I climbed into the carriage and prepared to depart. After barely moving 2 steps, she chased after me, weeping. I lifted the curtain to glance at her, and she collapsed among the crowd. I could have stopped to assist her, but upon reflection, she had fallen near the county office and likely did not require my unsolicited help. Upon returning to the main residence, I ordered not to be disturbed, intending to enjoy a relaxing bath and a restful sleep. However, my reverie was interrupted by a knock at the door. Miss, someone claiming to be your in-laws is causing quite a commotion and demands to see you. I rose, dressed appropriately, and took my seat at the entrance. Outside, Xin Lang's mother was hurling insults. Su Tang, you harbinger of death. Xin Lang is dead, and you did not inform us before burning him? You even scattered his ashes, denying us the chance for a final farewell. Oh, my son. I sipped my tea, responding slowly, pay it no mind. This residence was not the one I had shared with Xin Lang. It was one I had arranged long before, so the servants were unfamiliar with his parents. The following day, as I awoke, the steward informed me that the constables had come looking for me again. You are being accused of murder and must accompany us to the county office. I hastily protested, I am innocent. I abide by the law and could never commit such an act. The constable's lips twitched. First, come with us to the county office. I complied, thinking it prudent to clarify matters. Upon arriving at the county office, I found not only Lin Shuang, but also Xin Lang's parents, my in-laws. Xin Lang's mother approached me, fuming and shouting, Su Tang, you harbinger of death, you poisonous woman. Return my son to me. Observing her rosy complexion and robust physique, it was clear she had been well cared for at the villa. I kindly reminded her, Mother, please temper your anger, should you exert too much effort. It would be unfortunate if you were to collapse here. You murdered my son and now wish for my demise. Xin Lang's mother was just as fiery as Lin Shuang, unable to accept my concern and baring her teeth in an attempt to strike me. I had no choice but to evade. You've killed someone. I hid behind the constables. Your Honor, please save me. I was merely showing concern for my mother-in-law. and she seeks to harm me. There is no law in her eyes. I am terrified. The constables intervened, restraining Shinlang's mother, while the lead constable looked at me in disbelief. I muttered, I have always maintained that I am a law-abiding citizen. The constable in charge commanded me to silence, speak less, and confess honestly. What is the situation regarding the murder? I was once again taken inside, and the magistrate paused, his expression momentarily faltering. How is it you again? Indeed, it was I. The two elders of the Shin family claimed that someone could testify that Shinlang's death was connected to me, asserting that he took that small path due to his horse going mad, which led to his demise in a landslide. What do you have to say about this? My eyes instantly filled with tears, and I hastily defended myself. Your Honor, as the saying goes, both material evidence and witness testimony are indispensable. Do my in-laws believe that merely bringing someone to testify can convict me of murder? The magistrate appeared somewhat embarrassed, and I suddenly felt a twinge of sympathy for them. The magistrate quickly regained his composure and adopted a serious demeanor. Your in-laws assert that Shinlang intended to take the main road that day, but his horse suddenly went wild and ran onto the small path, where he was struck by falling rocks. You have always been responsible for the horse's care. I coldly replied, I did not tend to the horse that day. I was outside. The magistrate frowned and inquired, why? It would be best for you to answer our questions honestly. After your husband was killed, you did not attempt to save him. Instead, you immediately had him cremated and scattered his ashes. Such behavior defies reason. The atmosphere grew tense, yet I remained composed. Please clarify, the constable warned me. Did you murder your husband, Shinlang? The magistrate instructed him to calm down. Madam, confess honestly. You understand the law and will not act against it, correct? One played the role of the harsh interrogator, while the other feigned benevolence, yet they insisted I acknowledge my awareness of the law. Thus, I resolved to speak plainly. Your Honor, I endured storms alongside my husband, but he chose to divorce me for a mistress. He intended to meet her and instructed me to feed the horse in advance. However, we quarreled a day before, and I returned to my family's home without tending to the horse, which resulted in his death. His body was beyond recognition. There was no saving him. So I cremated him and scattered his ashes because he had expressed a desire to see the mountains and rivers after death. Have I done anything wrong, Your Honor? The magistrate and the constable exchanged glances, seemingly at a loss for words at my forthrightness. I took a deep breath. If you do not believe me, you may inquire with our neighbors. They witnessed Shinlang's violent outbursts against me, demanding a divorce. The constable brought in Lin Shuang and Shinlang's parents. Lin Shuang wore a smug expression. Your Honor, it was Su Tang who murdered Shinlang, was it not? The magistrate rebuked her sharply. Have you been invited to speak? What is your relation to Shinlang? Lin Shuang's face turned pale, looking innocently at Shinlang's mother. Shinlang's mother, her eyes wide with deceit, proclaimed, This is Shinlang's sworn sister, my adopted daughter. You are merely his sworn sister and lack the right to interfere in this matter. Lin Shuang's features contorted, and she refrained from further comment. The constable summoned neighbors and also questioned my former steward. On the day Shinlang went to meet his mistress, he indeed had a fierce quarrel with me, and numerous witnesses saw him attempt to lay hands on me while proclaiming he would divorce me. The witnesses you present cannot substantiate that Su Madam murdered young Master Shin. The court requires both witness and material evidence. If you continue to act recklessly, we may charge you with disturbing the peace. Do you understand? Upon hearing that I was not implicated, Shinlang's mother erupted again. Su Tang, you venomous woman. You prevented us from seeing our son one last time. I will fight you to the end. I adeptly retreated behind the constable. Madam, let us reason. Your son has been reduced to a mere pulp, which is quite terrifying. How could I allow you to see him? If you were to be so frightened that you met your demise, I would have to perform the cremation twice. How exhausting. I am merely being kind. Shinlang's mother clutched her chest in fury. I will tear that mouth of yours apart. The constable, busy restraining them, asked me, Madam, can you remain silent? Very well. I obediently closed my mouth, though the corners of my lips curled upward. Shinlang's mother railed like a fishwife, causing the constable to draw his blade in threat before she reluctantly quieted down. Upon exiting the courthouse, she glared at me in fury. I ignored her and asked Lin Shuang, why have you not moved out yet? Are you waiting for me to throw you out? Lin Shuang stamped her foot. Su Tang. Just wait. She turned around to complain, and Xin Lang's mother quickly returned to harass me. That courtyard was purchased by my son. You have no right to touch it. I will ensure Mayor lives there. Let us see who dares to evict her. For such unreasonable individuals, I could only appeal to reason. Xin Lang may have kept a mistress, which I supported, but on one condition: the deed to the courtyard must be in my name. I waved the deed before them. Xin Lang's mother attempted to snatch it, but I swiftly withdrew it. Lin Shuang, Xin Lang assured you that he would not let you suffer, and one day he would gift you the courtyard, correct? Lin Shuang trembled with rage, while Xin Lang's mother gritted her teeth at me. I truly did not wish to waste time here. So I issued one final notification to Lin Shuang. I will give you one more day. If you have not moved out by then, I will unleash my dogs upon you. Do not threaten me with the child again. Lin Shuang wept heartbreakingly. Old madam, I do not mind, but the child within me. Xin Lang's mother, both furious and anxious, tried to comfort her. Do not worry. Come with me to the mountain villa. There will be dedicated care for you and your child. She cast me a cold huff and proudly grasped Lin Shuang's hand before me. Lin Shuang turned her head and smirked at me. I climbed into the carriage, unable to contain my amusement. Excellent. Truly splendid. The Bichuan Mountain Villa does not accommodate just anyone. I sincerely hope they can reside there permanently. I promptly wrote to the steward of the villa. Xin Lang's mother has brought a pregnant woman over. She is my husband's mistress. Please ensure she is well cared for, providing the finest food, jewelry, and silks. Upon returning, I spent a day out with a few sisters, and the following day, I hastened to deliver the property division list in accordance with legal stipulations to the villa. 3 days later, I received another summons to the county court. Lin Shuang claimed that she was carrying Xin's child and that she deserved a share of the inheritance, thus colluding with my in-laws to sue me. Day after day, they sought to create trouble for me. I again dutifully attended the county court, where the magistrate was personally presiding over the case. Lin Shuang caressed her belly. This child is Xin Lang's. He should also receive a portion of the estate. I inquired, who can prove it? Proof is unnecessary. I am carrying Xin Lang's child. Words alone hold no weight. I replied with a smile, let us conduct a blood test. Once it is proven, anything that is rightfully yours will naturally be given. Lin Shuang glared at me, her voice shrill. Have you lost your mind? Xin Lang has been cremated. How can I provide a blood test? I suddenly understood. Indeed, you cannot. I looked earnestly at the magistrate. Your Honor, to file a lawsuit without evidence is somewhat frivolous, is it not? The magistrate struck the gavel. You dare. Lin Shuang hastily interjected. Your Honor, the old madam and the master can testify. Xin Lang's mother immediately stood up. She is my son's mistress. I can attest that this child belongs to the Xin family. I reminded her, Madam, the law stipulates that only through a blood test can a child's parentage be verified. No one else has the right to assert whose child this is. Xin Lang's mother was taken aback, looking at Lin Shuang, momentarily at a loss for what to do. At that moment, Xin Lang's father spoke up. Your Honor, I can testify. The magistrate inquired, how can you prove it? Xin Lang's father smugly declared, Xin Lang is my son, and after my grandson is born, I can verify parentage through a blood test, as long as the blood mingles. It will prove that the child in Mayer's womb is indeed of the Xin family line. Outrageous. The magistrate again struck the gavel. The notion of verifying parentage across generations is utterly absurd. Xin Lang's father trembled in fright. I scoffed, Father, do you understand why blood tests for parentage must be between parents and children? Because that is the only accurate way. By the way, how can you be so certain that Xin Lang is indeed your blood? Xin Lang's father was rendered speechless. What do you mean? I presented the information I had gathered, and the magistrate perused it with great interest, while I sighed and explained to Xin Lang's father. I had initially intended to keep this matter to myself, but I felt pity for him. While his marriage was harmonious, it could not withstand his gambling habits. His wife, heartbroken, would naturally seek consolation from others. And I had heard rumors of childhood sweethearts. I had encountered this before and was warned by my mother-in-law not to speak of it. I complied and did not inform Xin Lang's father, as he was not entirely innocent either, often indulging in the brothels after winning. Xin Lang's father turned pale with rage as he interrogated Xin Lang's mother. Did you not claim to have severed ties with him long ago? Whose child is Xin Lang? Xin Lang's mother, unwilling to cower, glared fiercely. Have you lost your mind? Of course, he is your son. But you, indulging in gambling is one thing. Yet you dare to sneak off to the brothel behind my back. It was a spectacle, akin to a dogfight, and I watched with great amusement. Lin Shuang could only weep as she attempted to mediate the chaos. The county magistrate, overwhelmed by the commotion, waved his hand, and the constable drew his blade with a swift motion, silencing the two. Xinlang's father, visibly enraged, grasped Xinlang's mother's hand and whispered, "We almost jeopardized everything. Let us settle the family assets first." Xinlang's mother, suddenly enlightened, replied, "Yes, yes, we have fallen into the trap of this venomous woman." The magistrate sternly warned them that only with sufficient evidence could they file a suit. Without it, causing such a ruckus in court would be deemed contempt of law, warranting detention. In essence, there was no proof to substantiate that Lin Shuang's child was Xinlang's, leaving her unable to leverage maternal privilege. Xinlang's mother appeared utterly flustered, realizing she had no leverage against me. Yet, Lin Shuang unexpectedly seized my hands, her emotions running high as she urged me to feel her belly. Tearfully, she implored, "Sister Su Tang, we have wronged you, but the child is innocent. I beg you, for the sake of the love Xinlang once bore for you, please acknowledge this child." Lin Shuang, more astute than the two elders, understood that if I acquiesced, the magistrate would have no grounds for objection. I smirked indeed. The three of them stared at me intently, awaiting my nod. I withdrew my hands, no? When I departed from the county office, I was escorted by constables, as the three of them had gone mad with the desire to strike me. Alas, the county office was the safest place. Upon returning home, I busied myself with managing my business and occasionally attended tea gatherings. A few days later, the constables sought me out again. "Madam Su, your in-laws claim that you have misappropriated your husband's family wealth. The suit has already been submitted to the magistrate, and you are required to appear in court on time." Fine, I was well acquainted with the county office and felt no trepidation. When the time came, I went. This time, my in-laws had been wise enough to hire a lawyer, and I did the same. Having legal counsel was advantageous, sparing me from excessive mental exertion. Xinlang's mother clung to me, exclaiming, "The money my son earned has all been embezzled by her. Magistrate, you must adjudicate on our behalf." I had grown weary of her repetitive claims, having heard this phrase 800 times. The magistrate appeared equally exasperated. "What purpose does your lawyer serve?" Xinlang's mother fell silent. Otherwise, her lawyer might very well perish from the strain. Her lawyer took a deep breath and launched into a lengthy discourse, all of which was mere drivel. My lawyer, without hesitation, presented the evidence: property deeds, business profit shares, and marriage contracts, swiftly dismantling the opposition's case. It was laughable. I had engaged a top-tier lawyer, skilled and capable, who could easily handle such minor characters. After all, I had spent 1,000 taels to retain him. Moreover, the marriage contract was personally drafted by Xinlang, as I had anticipated such a day. The contract explicitly stated that if he were to take a concubine, all of the Xin family's assets would belong to me. The opposing lawyer was left speechless. Xinlang's mother, infuriated, shouted, "Why aren't you speaking up? Counter her claims." Seeing her lawyer at a loss, she took matters into her own hands, exclaiming, "Surely the main residence's deed does not belong to you. Separate it out." The main residence she referred to was where Xinlang and I resided. Indeed, the deed did not belong to me. However, my lawyer effortlessly produced another document, revealing that the buyer was Xinlang and Su Tang, with the deed holder being Su Cheng'en, my father. Xinlang's mother went into a frenzy. "Fake. All lies. That house was purchased by my son. How could the deed holder be your father? You wretched harbinger of doom fabricated this." I inquired, "Lin Shuang, am I the one fabricating?" How could she resist the accusation of usurping family wealth? She, taken aback by being called out, panicked and attempted to evade. Consequently, she was brought forward. My lawyer wasted no time and presented the letters exchanged between her and Xinlang. Within them, amidst tender sentiments, was Xinlang's apology. He expressed regret that both the main residence and the side courtyard belonged to me, lamenting Lin Shuang's grievances. Xinlang's mother stood dumbfounded, clutching her chest as she sank to the ground, exclaiming, "Why must I suffer such misfortune? My son has surely been deceived by this vile woman." I had taken those letters when we were moving things out of the side courtyard, initially intending to burn them, but my lawyer insisted they would prove invaluable. And it seemed he was right. I smiled subtly, but suddenly Lin Shuang pointed at me, exclaiming, "Magistrate, Su Tang has embezzled. I can testify." With that statement, Xin Lang's mother ceased her tantrum. "Mayor, is this true? Quickly present the evidence to the magistrate. The Xin family's wealth must not fall into Su Tang's hands." Lin Shuang hesitated, gritting her teeth before revealing. Xin Lang had planned for the future and converted all the silver into banknotes. Those banknotes were taken by Su Tang. The magistrate glanced at me before turning to Lin Shuang. What was the amount? All eyes were fixed on her. She nervously began, 50,000 taels. The magistrate was taken aback. What? Lin Shuang reiterated, 50,000 taels. I remained silent, but Xin Lang's mother leaped up, 50,000 taels. Mayor, why were we not informed of this? Xin Lang's mother scrutinized Lin Shuang, suspicion creeping into her gaze. After I took the 50,000 taels in banknotes, Lin Shuang finally spoke up. If I hadn't taken them, wouldn't that amount belong to her? The crowd buzzed with excitement. Xin Lang's mother discreetly pinched Lin Shuang. Retrieve the money before I deal with you. Lin Shuang's words gave Xin Lang's mother a newfound confidence. Magistrate, you should interrogate Su Tang. What did she do with the banknotes? The magistrate looked at me, and I replied honestly, I did not take them. I truly did not take them, after all. Everything was moved by the craftsman. The magistrate turned to Lin Shuang. She shouted, she took them from my home. The constable can attest. My lawyer immediately countered, Miss Lin. You've misstated 2 points. First, the side courtyard is Madame Su's residence, not yours. Second, the records from the day you reported the case clearly indicate that nothing of yours was lost. Lin Shuang was flustered that day. It wasn't documented. My lawyer continued to press. Do you have any evidence to substantiate that there truly was 50,000 taels? Lin Shuang nodded. Yes, I can prove it. The banknotes Xin Lang redeemed were personally placed in the compartment by me. My lawyer scoffed dismissively, sensing that further questioning was unnecessary. Lin Shuang, in a fit of desperation, cried, Magistrate, there truly are banknotes. I placed them myself. The magistrate frowned. Are you saying the banknotes belong to Xin Lang? Yes. Is there a witness or tangible evidence? Lin Shuang, no. Lin Shuang, no evidence? The magistrate appeared exasperated. Absurd. I have previously stated that everything requires evidence. Do you truly believe this court is a place where one may come and go as they please? The magistrate ordered the constables to take Lin Shuang and Xin Lang's parents away, fining them for disturbing the court, warning that if such behavior occurred again, they would face a few days of detention. I commended, Your Honor, you handle matters with integrity. I inwardly mused, my husband Xin Lang is indeed a good man. Had I not accidentally discovered his clandestine conversion of assets, how would I have known he had shifted so much wealth? Upon exiting the county office, Lin Shuang and Xin Lang's parents rushed to confront me once more. They would be loath to relinquish the 50,000 taels. However, this time, I had learned my lesson and brought along a dozen bodyguards. I could not rely on hiding behind constables every time. They were blocked by the bodyguards. My lawyer warned Lin Shuang, Miss Lin, the matter of the family assets has been clarified. In the future, should any issues arise, please do not trouble Madame Su. She has expressed a desire to sever all ties with you. Should you choose to persist, I will represent Madame Su in a lawsuit against you. Miss Lin, do you truly wish to give birth in prison? Lin Shuang retreated in terror, no longer daring to advance. She looked at Xin Lang's mother, crying, Mother, the banknotes have been stolen by Su Tang. What shall we do? Xin Lang's mother gently patted Lin Shuang's hand. Do not fear, come with mother. She cast a fierce glare in my direction, and I smiled lightly. I wondered how Xin Lang's mother would react upon learning of Lin Shuang's true lineage. Upon returning home, the steward presented me with a letter from Bichuan Mountain Villa. Recently, my in-laws have squandered their wealth and are left with but a meager sum. They inquired about my plans moving forward. In my reply, I made it abundantly clear that following my husband's demise, I no longer held any ties to them. The inheritance has been settled, and they possess sufficient funds, rendering any appeal to me unnecessary. Once I dispatched my letter with alacrity, I was overcome with joy, practically dancing with glee. I was consumed with curiosity about the happenings at the estate. It must be quite a spectacle. The steward had previously conveyed that my mother-in-law was dissatisfied with her bed and had replaced it with one made of golden silk nanmu. She had commissioned dozens of silk garments, indulging in daily feasts of rare delicacies, all well adorned in fine fabrics. Their extravagance, accumulated over time, is indeed staggering. Presently, they have brought Lin Shuang, the pregnant woman, to the estate, necessitating even greater indulgence in food, comfort, and care. Ginseng aged a millennium and bowls of bird's nest soup thrice daily are merely the norm. Yet, in this world, how can such indulgences come without consequence? It is time they awaken to reality. My informants have reported that, as per my instructions, the estate has informed Xinlang's parents that I have severed ties with the master of the estate and will no longer associate with them. Consequently, they have been expelled due to lack of funds and have returned to their modest dwelling. When Xinlang first took a liking to Lin Shuang, he dared not disclose to his parents that she was a courtesan. Instead, he concocted a pretext to have them sent to Bichuan Manor, claiming it was for their enjoyment. In truth, it was merely a ploy to facilitate his liaison. Xinlang and his family were oblivious to the fact that Bichuan Manor was my family's property, mistakenly believing that the master was a friend of mine, thus granting them residence. After all, Bichuan Manor only accommodates nobility. Now that Xinlang's parents have been ousted, they are bound to react. I too await an unexpected turn of events. 2 months later, Xinlang's parents came wailing and banging on the door of my residence. Upon opening the door, I found them kneeling, pleading with me, "Su Tang, please save Lin Shuang and the child. For Xinlang's sake, we implore you." I reclined in my grand chair, and as Xinlang's mother crawled towards me, she was intercepted by my enforcers. She cried out in desperation, "Shuanger is in labor. Her life hangs by a thread. The midwife claims only acupuncture can offer a sliver of hope, and you are the foremost acupuncturist in the capital. Only you can save my grandchild." Rising from my seat, I instructed my enforcers to follow me to the alley. Upon entering, I was met with a pungent scent of blood. Inside, a figure was assisting with the delivery. It was my junior apprentice. She informed me that the position of the fetus was incorrect, the infant's head was oversized, and the cervix had suffered severe lacerations, making delivery perilous. I observed coldly as Lin Shuang's screams grew faint. Xinlang's mother, frantic with tears, urged, "Su Tang, why do you not take action? This is Xinlang's child, his only heir." A smirk crept across my lips as I replied, "Mother, I once had a child of his too. Do you not remember?" Xinlang's mother recoiled in shock, her face pale with fear. "At that time, you blamed me for insisting on treating others, which led to the loss of my child, declaring I deserved it, and thus, Xinlang abandoned me. Afterward, I was unable to conceive again, and you permitted Xinlang to keep a mistress, asserting that as long as he could produce an heir, it was sufficient. Yet, you were fully aware of Xinlang's infidelities. Did you know Lin Shuang was a courtesan?" Xinlang's mother crumpled to the ground in terror. Xinlang's father gazed inside, incredulous. "A courtesan? How could Shuanger be a courtesan? What does that mean for the child she carries?" I chuckled. "You once urged me not to report this to the authorities, claiming you did not wish to escalate matters. But in truth, it was to shield Lin Shuang from imprisonment, for she was with child. You never considered my own child." Xinlang's parents fell silent, while Lin Shuang clung to her pleas. "Su Tang, I was wrong. I truly was wrong. I beg you, have mercy and help my child." I smiled and queried, "Lin Shuang, what would you have me use to save him?" Lin Shuang's eyes widened in shock as they fell upon my right hand. "Years ago, when Mother Yao sought my help, she fell gravely ill. I diagnosed her and attempted acupuncture, yet she still perished. You accused me of incompetence, sending others to corner me in the alley, to shove and beat me, resulting in the loss of my child. You broke the very hand that performed the acupuncture. And though you wore a veil, I could never forget those loathsome eyes. When Xinlang met you in secret, I recognized you immediately. Lin Shuang." Her face pale from pain, stammered, "It was all my fault. I beg you, save the child. I would trade my life for his." Initially, I believed your affection for Mother Yao was profound, and that your rage at me stemmed from that loyalty. However, after Xinlang arranged for his parents to go to Bichuan Manor, I uncovered his infidelity, and that you were the mistress he cherished. You two were entwined, and you feigned innocence, claiming your disdain for me was merely a result of my interference. I was preoccupied with saving lives, only to later discover my husband had taken a mistress. I had confided in him about my past struggles, revealing how we had built our lives together from nothing. I sought to reclaim his trust, but he merely exploited my affections. I chuckled bitterly. Lin Shuang, this is the law of karma. I had long sensed that something was amiss with your child. Through mere observation, I knew the fetus was misaligned. Your swollen ankles and discolored eyelids were clear indicators of a troubled pregnancy. My silence was a test to see how fate would unfold. To my amusement, Xinlang's parents, who once sought to protect you, knelt and wept for your salvation, only to withdraw their tears upon learning of your true nature as a courtesan. How ludicrous. I laughed until tears streamed down my face. Lin Shuang, did you think my closure of the clinic was solely due to the loss of my child? Fear clouded Lin Shuang's eyes. Could it be? I wept as I affirmed, my right hand is rendered useless. I can no longer perform acupuncture. My injuries were severe, and I yearned to report the incident and ensure Lin Shuang faced her deserved retribution. Yet, Xinlang and his parents obstructed my path, defending Lin Shuang, claiming her innocence and pleading for leniency due to her bearing Xin's child. Eventually, I discovered that Xinlang had deceived his parents, leading them to believe Lin Shuang was a runaway daughter of nobility. In my despair, anger, and confusion, I was swayed by their words, believing their lies. The estate where I resided with Xinlang was his attempt to prevent me from seeking justice, and he even relinquished the land deed, inscribing my father's name upon it. To placate me. I did not desire this. My true wish was for my child to be born healthy and safe, and to pursue my calling in healing, benefiting the populace. But all of that was destroyed by Xinlang and Lin Shuang. After my departure, Xinlang's parents scolded Lin Shuang for an extended time, while she grimly endured the labor and ultimately gave birth. I suddenly realized that after all I had experienced, the world before me had irrevocably changed. Later, I encountered my junior apprentice once more, who informed me that Lin Shuang's child had taken its last breath upon birth. Had I performed acupuncture, perhaps the child could have been saved. I replied, each person has their fate, akin to my own child, whom I could not save. I heard that Lin Shuang went mad that very day, clutching her lifeless infant as if it were Xinlang, calling out his childhood name. My apprentice expressed her regret. Sister, that child was remarkably beautiful. How wonderful it would have been if your hand could still heal. She remained unaware of the history between Lin Shuang and me. I smiled faintly, indeed. After resolving all matters, I returned to my residence, where beneath the pear tree by the pond, I unearthed a small black pouch containing 50,000 taels in silver notes. With these funds, I established a charitable hall to care for orphaned and homeless children, providing them with education and medical knowledge. I also acquired a stretch of grassland to raise horses. On the day I tended to Xinlang's prize steed, he presented me with a letter of divorce for my signature. Xinlang proclaimed that Lin Shuang was with child, and he intended to divorce me, wishing to provide Lin Shuang and the unborn child a home, as I had suffered a miscarriage and could bear no more children. Coupled with my right hand being rendered useless, I had become a burden to him. Thus, he looked down upon me, desiring that the child within Lin Shuang inherit the family legacy. The moment I discovered Lin Shuang was Xinlang's mistress coincided with the day I endured the agony of a broken right hand and the loss of my child. In my deepest despair, the most heart-wrenching moment of helplessness, my husband had taken another woman. What tormented me further was the fact that this entire predicament was orchestrated by Lin Shuang, the interloper. The divorce papers Xinlang presented jolted me into awareness. Therefore, when I discerned that something was amiss with Xinlang's horse, I chose not to inform him. I was aware that after redeeming Lin Shuang, he had arranged for her to stay in a secluded villa nestled in the mountains, where they frequently met clandestinely. I also knew of two paths leading to the villa, the main road, which was the shortest, but often plagued by bandits, and the narrow path, fraught with landslides. Xinlang, undeterred by the dangers, preferred the main road, accompanied by his henchmen. On that fateful day, as he set out once again to rendezvous with Lin Shuang, I had preemptively bribed the bandits to block the main route. Left with no choice but to take a risk, Xinlang ventured down the perilous narrow path. I stood atop the mountain, witnessing with my own eyes as Xinlang was thrown into chaos by a frenzied horse, ultimately meeting his demise beneath a cascade of boulders. One who sows the seeds of misfortune must reap its bitter harvest. Farewell, Xinlang. In the aftermath, I pondered what might have transpired had Xinlang not deceived me. Had he not caused me such anguish? How might the narrative have unfolded differently? Yet, life offers no such luxuries as what if. Thus, I find myself compelled to express gratitude towards my husband. It was through his departure that I was able to rediscover my true self. The end of the tale. Thank you for listening, and until we meet again in the next story.